Ragtag was the latest episode, episode 21 of Season 1 for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now this is the last episode before the season finale next week, so I was hoping that this would live up to what's so far been a pretty good last half of the season. Now, it begins 15 years ago where we see Garrett, Bill Paxton, recruiting Ward. And obviously it's a younger actor playing Ward, but I thought this was interesting that we ended up getting flashbacks, so many flashbacks of Ward, and not only how he was found by Garrett, but the reason why Ward is so loyal to Garrett. I mean, the kid was a criminal, he was in juvie, and if it wasn't for Garrett, who knows where he would have ended up in life. Then we cut to Coulson and the team, and he's mapping out the plan and everything that's been going on. And I like the moment where Gregg, he says, you know, I probably should have used a different map for this part, just because there was so much going on, so many different people connected to all of this one scheme. Yeah, it is pretty out there. I thought that was pretty funny. We see Garrett present time. He gives Deathlock some footage of his son, almost like, hey, here's your reward for everything you've been doing. But the way Garrett does it, he's so nonchalant about it. He's so just like, yeah, I know you have your little issues or your worries about your son, but I don't really care. Here you go. Like, he's so cocky, so arrogant, Garrett is. I really enjoyed, this might be one of my favorite moments of the episode, where Triplett, they're all they're looking at the weapons that they could use for this mission, and Coulson completely starts geeking out over some of the weapons there. Just, I'm telling you, Gregg might be my favorite character of the show just because of his acting. He's great. Then we cut to Coulson and May going undercover, and this was pretty amusing. Seeing Coulson and May together, and they pretend to be these doctors who are trying to sell these weapons to this agency, but obviously that's not really what they want to do. They're trying to get into the building to figure out what's going on in there, their systems and whatnot, and it was just entertaining to see them acting like that. We see Garrett, he starts having like a coughing fit while he's talking to Ward. And we saw like a preview of this a couple episodes ago, but we see for sure now that Garrett is dying. He has this machine around his waist, and it's almost keeping his organs together, I guess. And it's the only way that he's living right now. And I know in the comic books, at least somebody told me that Garrett's character is an actual robot, cyborg. So I like that the show has done this weird medium of, yeah, he's a real person, but he's almost part machine. And it's the only thing keeping him alive. We then see Skye talking to May, and I like this because we don't really see these two characters interact all that much. But I think I liked it more because at the beginning of the season, I would have bet money that it was going to be a big reveal that May was Skye's mom. That May was the one who had to drop her off in secrecy and all that stuff. Clearly, that I was far from the truth, but still, because of that reason, I like seeing these two together and getting along. We see the flower dress girl. She, I guess, found out some information about Skye and her DNA, but I had a problem with this scene because she goes to tell Ward about it. Then she second guesses it and says, oh, I should be telling Garrett about this. And it's like, well, why did you bring this up to Ward if you just second guessed it? Obviously, Ward wants to know. Ward stops her, says, tell me. And then she kind of speaks in this riddle of, yeah, Skye, the story of Skye's parents and how they were killed by a monster, and Ward was trying to figure out, okay, so who was the monster? Who killed her parents? And she's like, see, that's the thing. Her parents are the monsters. And I'm sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about? Clearly, there's some type of metaphor of what these monsters are. It could be that they just mean something else, or it could mean that her parents or just whatever had abilities too and powers too, and maybe that's why they called them monsters. I don't really know, but I don't understand why she had to say it like that. Like, why can't you just come out and fucking say what you're talking about? It was annoying. It's annoying that little stuff like that is what annoys me about how this show. I get that maybe they don't want to reveal everything all in one episode or one scene, but it's like you're purposely bringing stuff up just to not have it pay off. Clearly, I'm not happy about that. We see in flashbacks, because throughout the whole episode we got a bunch of flashbacks, Garrett left young Ward in the woods for 6 months to see if he would survive or stay. And that's pretty harsh, but okay, Ward ended up staying and he survived. Then I thought it was more interesting that Garrett reveals to Ward why he hates S.H.I.E.L.D. Why did he turn on S.H.I.E.L.D.? Why is he with HYDRA? And I thought his reasoning, which, who knows, maybe he is lying. I guess there's no real way to know. But if his reason is true, I understand. I sympathize. It's not like I condone what he did in being with HYDRA, because let's face it, HYDRA are Nazis. So, yeah, but I felt bad when he said that he was hurt in a mission. He called for help, and S.H.I.E.L.D. gave him a bunch of reasons why they couldn't go in to help him. And that just made him go, wow, here I am risking my life, devoting my life to this one organization, and they're not even trying to make sure I make it out alive. I get where he's coming from. So, obviously HYDRA, who is pure evil, apparently they care a little bit more about the well-being of their soldiers. So, he went with HYDRA. Again, I almost don't blame him. When Ward catches Fitz and Simmons, that actually surprised me. Like, when Fitz went off to go do what he was going to do and then Ward just shows up, I'm like, whoa, that was creepy. Evil Ward is cool. I don't know, there's something about him that's not only threatening, but I feel like the actor likes playing Ward evil as well. Then, when Ward brings Fitz and Simmons onto the plane, Fitz uses this EMP device, which, I mean, that was cool, but I found it a little weird that Ward, and especially Garrett, didn't know what the device was until he pressed it. Like, Ward just thought it was some toy, like a prank button. I'm like, really? You think he just has some type of silly toy in his hand? And then when he presses it, it shuts off all of the electrical stuff, including Garrett's stomach robot piece. So then now he's in pain. And it wasn't until after that Garrett realized what it was, and I'm like, okay, fine. Whatever. The flower girl injects Garrett with, it looked like extremis. Maybe I'm wrong, but it definitely had the same effects of it. So I'm super interested to see what this does to Garrett, probably how superpowered he is now. That would be really interesting to see. Actually, right before that, though, Garrett told Ward to kill Fitz and Simmons. And Ward had a little hesitation about it, but he said, okay, he's going to go do it. And then when he went to go do it, Fitz and Simmons locked themselves in this like closet sort of area. And Ward is telling them to come out, and they're saying no. And Fitz is just really hard trying to convince Ward not to do this. He says, you still care about us, you're not a killer, you're not evil, this and that. And they showed a flashback of when Garrett told Ward to kill the dog that was with Ward for however many years in the woods. And at first it looked like Ward didn't do it, that he faked the gunshot and let the dog run out. Then we see another flashback of Ward actually going to kill the dog. So then you kind of go, shit, and I really didn't know what he was going to do. But then he maneuvered the machine to drop Fitz and Simmons, who were in like a box from that room, drop them out of the plane into the ocean. Now, I don't think that they're dead. I mean, but how are they going to get saved? I don't know. As sort of intense as that scene was, I don't feel like that was their demise. I hope we do find out what happens to them, though, in the finale. That would suck if, like, they don't even address it in the finale. Because I still don't know if we're getting a second season. I'm hearing people say, oh yeah, it looks like it's going to happen, but until it's confirmed, I'm not going to hold my breath. We then see Coulson, Skye, May, and Triplett. They're going in, and they all get cornered off by centipede soldiers. And that's pretty much how the episode ends. What a cliffhanger, huh? So, oh yeah, we also get a quick scene of Quinn selling super soldiers. Okay, I don't know, that scene didn't really do a lot for me, but overall I thought the episode was pretty good. I enjoyed the Ward flashbacks because, again, it got more into not only what happened to him when he was younger. Sure, I still was more interested to see more about his brother and the family, the horrible family life that he had, but I guess we're just not going to really address that. We're more into this, how did he get into Hydra, which I thought was interesting. I really love Bill Paxton on the show as Garrett. I have a feeling he won't survive the season finale, but still, even if he doesn't, it was worth it to have him on the show. Next week, from the previews anyways, you get a quick glance of Samuel L. Jackson. Nick Fury will be in the finale. How awesome is that? I cannot wait for it. Hopefully it's a little more than when he was in it in episode 2. But still, the fact that he's going to be on here, you can't ask for anything more than that. I'm looking forward to the finale, guys. Let me know in the comments below, not only what did you think of this episode, but what do you think, how do you think the finale next week will play out? Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Later!